The mitochondrial supplement I waited 4 months to talk about. The supplement in question is Urolithin A. Urolithin A is of interest to me because it's reported to improve mitochondrial function. It does this, we think, by activating mitophagy, the process in every cell that removes old or damaged mitochondria from circulation, thereby activating the creation of new, younger, more functional mitochondria. Now, mitophagy decreases with age, and this decline in mitochondrial function is strongly associated with all of the hallmarks of aging, especially those related to inflammation and chronic disease. For this reason, anything that can improve mitochondrial function has the potential to increase health and lifespan. So what is urolithin A? It's a molecule that is naturally derived for us by our gut microbiome, all the bacteria that live inside us. They use a molecule called elagitanin, a nutrient found in bright, colorful fruits like pomegranates, and they convert it to urolithin A. Now, the reason supplementation is being researched instead of a recommendation that everyone should eat a lot of pomegranates is that only 30 to 40% of people have the microbiome species and the healthy diet necessary to make enough naturally. So to go a little bit more in depth about what urolithin A does. It activates mitophagy, the recycling of old and damaged mitochondria, a process that naturally declines with age. And as mitophagy declines, mitochondrial function, such as energy production and communication between cells, also becomes less efficient. Apparently, taking somewhere between 500 and 1,000 milligrams per day of urolithin A as a supplement, it takes about 4 months to see the full effects. This is how long it takes to break down older mitochondria and create enough new ones to see measurable change on lab tests. Urolithin A in humans has been shown to improve muscle recovery and endurance. Because muscles are highly energy dependent, they're particularly vulnerable to age-related mitochondrial decline. And this is why people tend to lose muscle mass as they age. Supplementation with urolithin A seems to lead to improvements in both muscle mass and endurance in older adults. There's some newer preclinical evidence in animals that urolithin A may decrease inflammation, particularly in the gut, and this may have beneficial effects in conditions like osteoarthritis, fatty liver disease, and some autoimmune conditions. Now, in C. elegans, this is a worm model that's used extensively in medical research. Urolithin A improves or increases lifespan by up to 45%. This is quite exciting. However, we've been down this path before with other supplements. Worms and humans are not identical. They have many biological differences. And lifespan experiments in humans are very long and very expensive. So suffice to say at this point, we don't know whether urolithin A will improve either health span or lifespan in humans. If you want to try to get urolithin A naturally, you would want to take more pomegranates. Both the fruit and the juice are really high in elagitanins and ellagic acid. Many types of berries, especially blueberries and raspberries, also contain elagitanins, and even some nuts, things like walnuts, pecans, and chestnuts, and some species of grapes. Now, urolithin A is very expensive, so you may want to get a test to see whether you're someone who naturally produces it, because if you are, it would be a waste of money to take the supplement. There are two companies, Light Labs and Mitozy Labs, that offer urolithin A levels with the fancy equipment that enables them to do it accurately. How the test works is 24 hours before you're going to do your blood draw, you drink 8 to 16 ounces of pomegranate juice. And then you get your blood drawn to see how much urolithin A has been produced by your microbiome. Now, as promised, here's an update on my own experience with urolithin A. Some of you may have watched the short reel I published back on November 11th, where I talked about my early experiences without naming the supplement. I was excited because I've taken possibly hundreds of supplements which have done absolutely nothing. And so within a couple of weeks of starting Urolithin A, I had some subtle positive signals. But I didn't want to name the supplement yet because so many things I've tried seem to work at first and then the effects wear off. So what I reported back in November was that the long time inflammatory rash that I have, it's called generalized granuloma annulare. Nothing else has touched it. I've done pretty much every treatment that's recommended for the disease. It seemed to be calmer. And it seems like still, if I eat some of the foods that I normally avoid, the rash, although it's triggered a little bit, it's not as severe as I'm used to. I felt that my cognition was sharper, my sleep was more restful, and I generally felt more restored during the day. And the most important to me was that I was noticing some positive metabolic effects. I had been developing really extreme hunger and overeating behavior over the last 3 years. And I was quite desirous of finding some solution for this, and it is continuing to calm down. The other thing I've noticed as I approach my 4th month with urolithin A is that I haven't had a single flare of joint inflammation. This is something that's been plaguing me for about the last 6 to 8 years. Another plus not to be overlooked or underestimated is that I didn't have any side effects. So I'm taking 2 a day. That's a total dose of 500 milligrams, and I've had no side effects. What do I exactly take? So I'm taking the original Mitopure brand. This is the brand that has been most researched, and I purchase it from the affiliate company called Timeline. There are capsules and gummies. I don't know why, but I'm kind of liking the gummies, even though they have an artificial strawberry flavor to them. Unlike the health experts who earn money by promoting products, I have no affiliation with this company and benefit in no way from sharing my experience. I'm trying to start a conversation and inviting you to share your experience so that we can all learn together. Now, a definite drawback of urolithin A, especially if you're Canadian, is that it's very expensive. A regular price for taking 2 gummies or capsules a day, total dose 500 milligrams, without a subscription or a coupon code, is about $125 US a month. On top of that, if you live in Canada, shipping is exorbitant. I would say unrealistically high. It's $40 to $60 per order in US dollars. Now, the one bright spot is that I've learned through experience that if you put your order in on a major holiday like Black Friday, you can get 30 to 40% off. So I'm talking about urolithin A because I feel encouraged by my own personal experience. And at the same time, I have to be honest that the research is very early. One of the biggest criticisms or drawbacks of the research is that it's almost all being done by the company that stands to gain if the product turns out to be successful. Knowing how much misrepresentation occurs in medical research, and this seems like a very ominous and growing problem, we will not know for sure whether urolithin A is generally beneficial and for whom until independent researchers either confirm or deny the current findings. So to summarize, urolithin A is one of the better studied nutritional supplements that targets mitochondrial health, and there is evidence in improvement both in muscle function and mitochondrial biomarkers in older adults, the exact people that we want to target. However, there are many unanswered questions. For example, how does it exactly work? Does urolithin A increase mitochondrial function in existing mitochondria, or does it increase function through mitochondrial turnover? Does it increase health or longevity in humans? Will it be a useful tool for people like us with chronic diseases? Who will benefit most? Older, younger? Which type of health status? What is the most effective dose? So the maintenance dose recommended is 500 milligrams per day. When I noticed some improvement, I increased my dose up to 1,000 milligrams a day for a month, but I saw no additional benefit. So given the cost, I have cut back to the 500 milligrams per day. Many supplements are recommended to be pulsed, meaning you shouldn't take the same dose every day. You should take maybe on alternate days or take have periods where you're off the supplement to give your body a chance to readjust. We know nothing about that for urolithin A. And perhaps the biggest question is we have no idea how safe it's going to be in humans when used over the long term. If you're listening to this and you've used urolithin A, please share your experience so that we can all learn together. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel and check out my membership, Live with Dr. Stein. Members join me every other Thursday to discuss cutting-edge research relevant to the complex chronic disease community.